It's Friday, and that means it's time for another edition of Takes from a Hat. We've got plenty of topics here on the Nashville Predators, the NHL, and more hockey shenanigans. We will get to them today on the Locked On Predators podcast.
Your Locked On Predators, your daily podcast on the Nashville Predators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for making the Locked On Predators podcast your first listen of the day. Every single day, we are your free daily Nashville Predators podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Special hello to all of you loyal Locked On Pred heads out there, the everydayers who join us every single morning. We are happy to have you. I'm Nick Morgan. I'm a writer at Penalty Box Radio, and I have a partner in crime.
You do. I'm Ann Kimmel. I'm a writer at InsideThePreds.com.
Also want to mention today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. All right, it's Friday, Ann, and we are feeling in a festive Friday mood. Plus, both of us have some stuff to work on this weekend, so we're going to do an edition of Takes from Hat. It's one of our favorite things to do. We've been told by random tweeters that this is one of their favorite things. Basically, if you've ever seen Whose Line Is It Anyway, there's just hats here with topics that range from stuff on the Nashville Predators, the NHL, other hockey kind of what ifs, and we're just going to pull some topics out from a hat, do a quick little thing about it, and then move on our merry way to the next topic.
Love it. Yep. Always interesting. You just never know what's going to come out of a hat. You never know.
No. You have like such elaborate backstories in yours. Like, who's the best dressed Nashville Predator? And I'm like, if you only had time to perform open heart surgery on either UC Saros or Roman Josi, who would you save?
Okay, I feel like we have to answer that now.
No, we'd save them both.
We would.
First off, neither of us are surgeons.
That's very true. Yes. No, not going to happen. But we would find a way.
Yeah. Do you want to poll first?
Yeah, let me pull first. Let's get this party started. So usually I type mine. Mine are handwritten today, which means it's going to take me a minute to decipher my own handwriting.
Yeah.
But
you type them out, man.
I usually type them out,
and then so much more effort into this than I do.
And then I cut them neatly, but my scissors are packed. So today, as you can see, we have a very, very frustrating, uneven rip. But we're going to
do so much more work into this than I do.
All right. So, Nick, looking ahead at next season, is there a particular player you are most worried about when it comes to next season, and why?
The Nashville Predators?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Nashville Predators.
I mean, we talked about this, I think a week ago, didn't we, on a show here? I still think maybe somebody I'm worried about is Ryan Johansson.
Yeah.
Just because I don't know if he has that speed. I also talked about maybe Ryan McDonough, just because I don't know if his game really translates to what Andrew Brunette wants to do. I think he's still a very solid defenseman. I don't know if he's just going to be able to kind of push play like Brunette wants to. There's a couple of other guys too. Yeah. Like, you talked about Igor Afanasiev, like, prize prospect, and maybe how there's better options in the Predators kind of prospects pipelines that fit what Brunette wants to do.
Right.
So, I mean, it's hard to say, though, because, is Andrew Brunette going to be like, you don't fit, we're not going to play you? Or is he going to be like, okay, we're going to find something else for you to do?
Yes.
I don't think we really know that yet.
Yeah, this is a hard question, and we're not afraid of hard questions here at Locked On Predators. Yeah. But this is a hard question because not only do you have a new head coach, and, Andrew Brunette in his press conference really talked a little bit about what he wants from this Nashville Predators team, but you have to see a lot of that in action come to fruition, kind of flesh it out a little more to know what's going on. But also, I'm not sure we know for sure what we're going to get from a lot of the guys who may be on the roster. So, you look at players like Tommy Novak or Cody Glass, and we saw some really great things from them last season. But do we know for sure that that's going to continue? There are so many changes to this team, from the head coach to roster changes to a new direction and style of play. So I think it is a little bit of a tough question. I would say for me, probably Tommy Novak is one of mine. And I don't necessarily mean worried as in I think he's going to not, we're going to be like, oh, where's the Tommy Novak of last season? But just where is he going to fit in? How much can we get from him? How much can he do? Did we see his ceiling? Or is there more? So for me, Tommy Novak is a big question. I shouldn't say maybe I'm worried about him, but I do have a lot of questions about where is he going to fit in and what can we expect from him after last season?
Yeah, it's going to kind of be interesting because Novak's a guy that you look at and it's like you can make the justification that he's the type of player that's going to thrive under Andrew Burnett, or, he could be, maybe we need to kind of readjust what our ceiling expectations for him.
Right.
So that's also, a guy.
We're broken up over the Ryan McDonough comment. We're broken up.
Oh, well, we were broken up over Wednesday's Shoney's discussion, I think.
Yeah, still, I stand by my crouton statement about Ruby Tuesdays.
Yeah. That's Okay, here's an interesting one. It's kind of an easy one right off the bat.
Oh, good. Ease into it.
Knowing everything you know now, who is one former Preds player that maybe you appreciate more now than you did when they played for the team?
That's a really great question. Is it what they're doing now makes me appreciate it, or looking back?
Any.
Yeah. Who I appreciate more now is Kevin Fiala. And I know we only had young Kevin Fiala for a little while. And, there was the lure of the 2017 Cup run and Kevin Fiala in there, and then the injury. And so there's a big narrative around Kevin Fiala with the Nashville Predators. But I look back and I think we really saw some things in him that I think we now see coming to fruition with other teams in other situations. And it's a little bit bittersweet, but I do appreciate more that he had the potential to be more of almost more of a core guy for the Predators had things gone a little bit differently. Like, I appreciate his game a little more. I don't look at him as we plugged him in and boy, didn't he do okay kind of guy. So I think Kevin Fiala is one for me. That's a great question. Who was yours?
I'm surprised you didn't say Ryan Ellis.
Oh, because, that's another.
Didn't the Preds defense change when prime Ryan Ellis kind of went away?
Corey Perry.
I mean, it's just like the high end, we always had that number one pair. He and Roman Josi had such fantastic chemistry. Yeah. They brought out the best in each other, and he was just like that perfect number two.
Yeah.
That's absolutely a guy that you love to have. Throw it back also. And like, for me, somebody like Scott Walker from way back in the day, like for the Nashville Predators, like you don't appreciate that kind of two-way style he was able to play with.
Yeah.
And, even another one, let's talk about Steve Sullivan, for the Nashville Predators. He had, of course, that, big year, but then, kind of think of his best seasons the next couple of years. He was sort of overshadowed by, Paul Kariya coming here. And, Scott Hartnell was, a big fan favorite. And then you had, big free agents like Jason Arnott coming over, and Peter Forsberg, the original Nashville Forsberg. And it just seems like, you never really got a chance to step back and really appreciate like how good he was until he was gone. So, there's a couple.
I love the Ryan Ellis thought because you know what's so funny is you go back to when the Predators had him. And like you said, this is a guy who really was the number 2 behind Roman Josi. But if you look back at statistics, he was one of the best defensemen in the league when he was playing with Roman Josi. Like some of his stats were just off the chain. And that is one who maybe, and I think that's true, of some of the other ones that you mentioned, like this is somebody who was maybe overshadowed, didn't at the time get the acknowledgement maybe for how good their game was. But yeah, Ryan Ellis, he was a sneaky, amazing player.
Yeah. I mean, that's something that, he was basically those two together were like Makar and Davin Tays.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really were. More takes from a hat coming up in just a second. But first, want to mention today's episode is brought to you by Bird Dogs, aka the comfiest pairs of shorts I think I have ever owned. You've probably seen these all over social media and wondering if the hype is worth it. So I got a couple of pairs of Bird Dogs to try them out myself. First thing I noticed is that the stretch, they have these stretch khaki shorts. They're designed to fit slimmer through the thigh and the leg, which give you a sculpted look. They're almost like Lululemon, but they fit way better and they look great. They look like khaki shorts, but they're not made of that stiff restricting cotton. Instead, they're made with cloud knit fabric that looks like khakis, but it stretches so you get a way slimmer fit without having to sacrifice movement. And they use anti-stink sweat wicking fabric that keeps you cool and dry all day long. There is a reason why these are some of those popular shorts out there. It's basically like wearing a pair of gym shorts that look like khakis. These are so comfortable. You're going to have to try it yourself. Go to birddogs.com/LockedOnNHL, enter promo code LockedOnNHL for a free Yeti-style tumbler with your first order. Again, birddogs.com/LockedOnNHL for a free Yeti-style tumbler. You won't want to take your Bird Dogs off. We promise you. All right, Ann, more takes from a hat. What you got for me?
All right, I'm reaching into my Craig Smith designed hat, one of my very favorite Preds hats.
Pulling
out. All right. Oh, totally random one.
Okay.
What food do you wish they served at Bridgestone Arena? Can you tell I prepped these when I was hungry?
Are we allowed to say Ruby Tuesday or Shoney's?
Look, the croutons are out of this world, friends. Yeah. They are out of this world at Ruby Tuesday.
It's crazy. I don't know what food they serve at Bridgestone Arena. Like I moved to Cincinnati. Yeah. Like I only go to like one game a year at Bridgestone Arena.
All right. What would be your favorite food to eat at a hockey game then?
My original favorite was the funnel cake. I assume they still have funnel cakes there. Yeah. That used to be my treat whenever my mom or dad would take me to the games. I have like hot dog, pizza, something like that. First period, second intermission was always a funnel cake.
Yeah.
There used to be like the big stand right out there by like that main entrance there.
Yeah.
It was great. Love me a good funnel cake.
Funnel cake is like the sports dessert of champions for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Phil, I don't know. I mean, there's probably hot chicken there because it's a Nashville thing.
Yeah.
Is there a good taco place? Like really good, like tapas style tacos at Bridgestone Arena?
If there were, I wouldn't know about it because I don't do spicy food.
Okay.
So I wouldn't know about it. No, my husband and I had it down to a science, like where we went, what we ate, when we were going to games. And I'm like, we're the old people that go to Ruby Tuesdays or Shoney's at 4:00. That's what we've turned into when we go to Bridgestone. But I would love for them to serve Jenny's ice cream.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be so great? Like they have Dippin' Dots, and I think they have another ice cream there too. And I'm sure it's delicious.
Yeah. Come on. Dippin' Dots is an ice cream.
Dippin' Dots is not ice cream. I do not enjoy a Dippin' Dots. Do you?
No, it's not great.
No.
I can mess with some Jenny's though.
Yeah, some Jenny's would be amazing. So that's what I vote for. But
yeah, absolutely. The gooey butter cake, elite flavor.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
That's a good one. I love any sort of stadium food question because I'm a big stadium food guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. All right.
Make it an easy one. It's Friday. Oh,
It's going to
no.
go either way.
Oh, no.
The Vegas Golden Knights just won the Stanley Cup.
They did.
Who are your 3 way too early teams that you think are the 3 most likely to win next year's Stanley Cup?
Way too early as in franchise history or as in like roster?
Like predict now just the 3 teams you think are most likely
Most likely.
to win the Stanley Cup next year.
3 I think are most likely to win next year. I think Colorado. I hate to say it, but I think you get, Nathan McKinnon, you get these guys back healthy. I think Colorado could be a whole thing. There's a part of me that would like to see Toronto. I know we have we got through the first round, but depending on what happens in the offseason, I think Toronto.
That's kind of the big X factor.
That's the big X factor. Yeah. Who do they move? If they move somebody out of that core 4, then maybe that would change. But Toronto, Colorado, Toronto, and I would maybe go Vegas because I don't know that they're going to do a ton.
Yeah. Are they going to get that same goaltending next year? That's the bigger question is who's their goalie next year?
Yeah. We talk about how great Aiden Hill was in these finals, but if you look at their regular season, it's like, I'm sorry, who is in net? You're like scrolling through, their roster.
Logan Thompson made the All-Star team.
Yeah. So who's going to be back? Who's going to be healthy? Who are they going to have in net? I don't know. Yeah. Aiden Hill timing worked out great for Aiden Hill, but yeah, I think goaltending is the question for Vegas, but I can see them coming back. What about you? Who do you think is going to make it? You can say the Predators and it's okay.
Yeah. Not going to say that.
No.
I think Vegas.
Yeah.
Again, if they solve their goaltending, I would say Colorado. Actually, can I change that?
You can do whatever you want.
I would say Dallas.
Oh,
the Dallas Stars, maybe.
I could see it, though. I could see that.
Yeah, and then last but not least, Tampa Bay Lightning.
Again, interesting.
They still have that same team, and I think they would have done much better in that first round if Andrei Vasilevskiy looked like the Andrei Vasilevskiy of the past 5 years.
Yeah.
A little bit of an off year for him this year.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a rough postseason for him. I could see that. I like that there's several options that could be it. Now, let's see what happens in the offseason because, look, these next couple, this next month or so, anything, friends.
Let's see how many 20 first-round picks they give up for Tanner Jeannot again.
That's right. All right, let's do it. Oh, here we go. If you had a vial of truth serum and could use it on any Nashville Predators player, coach, or executive, and ask one question, who would you use it on, and what would you ask them?
Okay, I think I know this.
Okay.
David Poile in 2012.
Okay.
Did you really think Ryan Suter was coming back?
That's a good one.
Boy, did that whole thing just not change the trajectory of the franchise right there?
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have we heard like differing stories on that? David Poile comes out, you hear him say it's like, oh no, Ryan Suter told us forever ago he was going to re-sign, and that's in good faith. And then, Shea Weber comes out and says, or there's like whispers that Shea Weber didn't want to re-sign if Suter wasn't going to re-sign and vice versa. I would just sit David Poile down. And it's like, really?
Come on now.
Like, be honest. What were your conversations? Like, give us the real scoop of what happened there.
Yeah.
Did Ryan Ellis really say he was like committed to coming back, or was it the general like negotiating? Yeah, we'd be open to staying here.
Yeah.
Because there's a big difference between those two. And also, what was Shea Weber's role in all of that? That may be part two, is had Shea Weber that truth serum. And it's like, were you really were you really hell-bent on leaving Nashville? Were you just doing that as a negotiation ploy, or did you want out?
Yeah. See, when you started with David Poile, I thought you were going to say David Poile, and did you really think Ellie Tolvanen would clear waivers?
That's another great one.
I mean, who doesn't want?
I think I legitimately thought he would clear waivers.
Yeah, I could see that one both ways. I would actually. David Poile and the Ellie Tolvanen for me is one. The other one, I would give it to UC Saros and say, would you rather leave this team to get closer to a chance to win a Stanley Cup in your prime, or would you rather stay a Nashville Predator? I just want to know.
Would you be afraid of his answer?
Yes, it would potentially break my heart, but I would want to know. Yeah. Because, look, if Saros goes, I've got to have some sort of emotional framework from which to process this.
Yes. All right. More takes from a hat coming up in just 1 second.
Absolutely. But first, want to let you know that this episode is brought to you by our great friends at Game Time. Look, friends, buying tickets to a fun favorite event should not be stressful. So you need to check out Game Time. It is the fastest and easiest way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater near you. They have killer deals on last-minute tickets, and they have a best price guarantee. So you can stop stressing about tickets and start getting hyped for all the fun you'll have. And like I said, they have great last minute deals. It's a gorgeous day in Nashville, and you think, you know what, it would be great to take in a Sounds game. You need to get on Game Time and check out tickets for the Nashville Sounds game. Also, we've got NASCAR coming to Nashville. If that's something you're interested in, you can find flash deals. And if your plans change, you can find a last minute ticket to attend an event like that. It's easy to find any kind of tickets for any kind of event in your area. They give you images of your seat view so you know exactly what you're buying, and they have a lowest price guarantee. So forget planning months in advance. They have deals on tickets right up till the day of the event. Now, go and download the Game Time app. You're going to create an account and use promo code LOCKEDONNHL, and they'll give you $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, go to Game Time, download the app, create an account, and redeem code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
All right, Ann, a couple of doozies for you.
Oh my gosh. I'm not a big fan of a doozy.
One's more of a doozy than the other.
Okay.
Don't worry. You're not having to pick between saving the life of
Roman Josi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's Friday. I can't make that decision.
Yeah. All right. As a way to say sorry for expansion teams having too much success early, the NHL is going to let the Nashville Predators pick one non-Connor McDavid player from any NHL roster to add to the team right now. Who is it and why? Remember, non-Connor McDavid.
So just Connor McDavid, or like level of Connor McDavid?
Anybody that you can pick.
Oh,
anybody that's not named Connor McDavid. You can go Auston Matthews. You can go Leon Draisaitl. You can go Jack Hughes. Nikita Kucherov.
This is like the greatest shopping event, ever.
This is your Golden Corral buffet right here, Ann.
No, Ruby Tuesdays.
Whatever it was.
Whatever. Oh, wow. What a question. Who would I pick? I would have to say, and this could be recency bias. No, maybe I wouldn't pick him. See, I should have been prepped for this. I was going to say Jack Eichel because he's young. You think Auston Matthews, and I'm like, he's a little bit older, but let's pick somebody that's
he's
like
1 year
young.
Older.
What's that?
He's 1 year older.
Oh, that's true. Auston Matthews in my mind is like late 20s, early 30s.
It's because of the mustache.
It is. It's that Colby Barlow. He's a draft pick who really looks like he's 35 because of the facial hair.
Yeah.
And I really want him in Nashville. Then I would go Auston Matthews. I think of him as old. I would say Auston Matthews because I think he's a game changer.
Yeah.
Don't know that I would pick a defenseman. Don't know that I feel like we would need to pick a goaltender. I would go Auston Matthews.
If you're going to go high end, over somebody like Leon Draisaitl.
You know what? I would do Matthews over Draisaitl.
I would put
Who would you pick?
Draisaitl over Matthews. I would say it's between those two. Maybe Jack Hughes in another year or so.
Oh,
Can I throw in an X factor though?
absolutely.
Wouldn't you love to have somebody like Matthew Tkachuk?
I
A
don't.
100-point player, a
Yeah,
consistent 100-point player who scores big goals and does kind of a lot of like the grit grime work
yeah. He
that
comes with a lot of sass, and I think that could be amazing, or it could be a little bit meh for
yeah.
me.
I mean, he's still like that identity which
Yeah.
the Predators fans crave, but somebody that can also turn around and score like 100 points every single year and somebody
Mm,
who elevates the team.
yeah.
He would be like in my top 3, I would say.
Yeah. I love that Barry Trotz has kind of talked about in some of his recent conversations with the media. He's like, we want to get people who get fans out of their seats.
Yeah.
And that's a
He
Matthew
certainly
Tkachuk.
does that.
That's a Matthew Tkachuk. You know what I'm saying? That's a Jack Hughes. That's an Auston Matthews. And wouldn't that be amazing to get somebody like that in Nashville? Or let's just develop that guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just saying.
You got 13 draft picks. Might as well take a swing at
Might
one
as
of them.
well. All right, let's see here. Oh, what one Predators player that is gone, either retired or traded, would you bring back for next season if they gave you their prime performance?
I mean, the answer's got to be Paul Kariya, right?
I don't know.
I would
That's
say
it.
Paul Kariya, because we've already seen what he can do in a Barry Trotz influence system.
Yeah.
Remember, Paul Kariya came to Nashville specifically because of Barry Trotz. Remember, he said in the press conference, he's like, I love the way they play. It looks fun. It's creative. And that seems to be like a kind of guy that, him on that wing, helping guys like Filip Forsberg, helping
Oh
guys like
gosh.
Matt Duchene, kind of being the facilitator down low while Roman Yossi's playing up high. You think of him like Tommy Novak, and his ability to get near the puck. Think of like Luke Evangelista's shot.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me you don't want somebody like Paul Kariya making plays for those guys and just seeing what kind of fun shenanigans they can get into.
Gosh, that is okay. That is an intriguing one. In my mind, I'm thinking defense because I'm a little worried about the defense.
Yeah.
Looking ahead next season. And for me, in prime, I'd bring back PK Subban, baby.
I was gonna ask between that or Shea Weber.
Yeah, that's true. I would do PK Subban. Look, unapologetic PK Subban fan. Like
Yeah.
I love this guy. I loved his play in his prime, and I love his swagger. And I think the team next year needs a guy with a little bit of swagger. Maybe not as much swagger as Matthew Tkachuk.
Yeah.
I think PK would be really good for a young locker room. So for me, it would be PK.
Yeah. Would you put him with Roman Josi, or would you do like the thing that Laviolette did and break those two apart and put him with somebody else? So you'd have like two really good pairs.
I would break them apart.
Yeah.
I think they're going to.
Who would you put him with?
Gosh, who would I put him with? I don't even remember which side he played.
He was the right side.
Right.
Matthias Ekholm was his partner on the left. Really good shutdown pair.
Gosh, who would you put him with? Like, there's a part of me that's like,
Who's even on the left side anymore other than Roman Josi?
I know, I'm literally
Jeremy Lauzon.
That's what I'm thinking. Is it Jeremy Lauzon? I feel like it doesn't have to be Jeremy Lauzon.
Is it Ryan McDonough? Like this version of Ryan McDonough?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe
you
it is Roman Josi. Maybe it is Roman Josi.
Yeah, hope to God Spencer Stastny is ready for the NHL next year.
I tell you. Now there you go. Now I'm intrigued. PK Subban and Spencer Stastny.
Yeah.
Not going to happen, but fun to think about.
Yeah. The SNS line.
There you go.
All right. I think we got time for one more, Anne.
Let's do one more. Is it me?
Yes. No, I drew for you.
You drew for me. All right. Make it a good one.
Who do you think is the best fighter on the Nashville Predators roster right now?
Okay, so interesting you say this because I am working on an article that's going to come out next week about, do the Predators need an enforcer? Because let's face it, we lost Mark Borowiecki.
Yeah.
And Tanner Jeannot is gone. And those are our guys. I think we can rule out, bless his heart, Alexander Carrier.
Or Cole Smith.
Or Cole Smith. I would say Michael McCarron is probably your best fighter. Lots of zest.
He's big. I'll give him that.
He's a big guy, doesn't back down. Definitely one who is willing to step up. Here's what I will say, as somebody who did, boxing and MMA, it's hard to be a really good fighter on skates. Just the physics of it is tough. But who else is there? Like, really, who on the Nashville Predators team do you think who is a fighter? Who's a fighter?
I mean, would you want to mess with Yakov Trenin?
Oh,
the guy who knocked down 6'9" Zdeno Chara?
Yeah, I forgot about Yakov.
Yeah, he just doesn't fight, but when he does, he knocks people out.
Good. Yeah. Okay, I would go Yakov Trenin. Yeah.
Yeah, McCarron was big, thrown off. Yeah, I mean, you don't have Tanner Jeannot. I mean, he's up there in terms of best fighter in the league.
Yeah.
You question whether the Preds need an enforcer. Do you think there's still a role for that in the modern NHL?
I think with the pivot that the Predators are making, I don't know that it's necessary. And there is a part of me that is really okay with that. I'm really okay with that.
I think you just want guys that can fight and play, not necessarily guys you put out for 5 minutes a night until they try to find somebody to throw punches with.
Yeah.
But I think there's room for fighting in the NHL. Maybe not the role of a traditional enforcer anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, that's got to be a skill set as a part of a larger skill set for sure.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. Interesting slate of takes from the hat today. Give us, if you're listening to this at home, weigh in. Who do you think is the best fighter on the Preds roster? What player from another NHL team would you love to steal? Any topic like that, let us know. Tweet us at LO_Predators, comment on our Facebook page, Locked on Predators, or just drop a comment on this YouTube video. We'd love to hear from you. And where can people find your work?
You can find my work online at InsideThePreds.com. You can find me on Twitter at ANK_Mama on Ice.
You can find me at Penalty Box Radio. You can also follow me on Twitter at _NSMorgan. That's going to do it for us on today's Locked on Predators podcast. Thank you for making us your first listen of the day. We'll be back with new episodes next week. We'll see you then.